All right, guys. Lesson 43, using the quadratic formula. Again, we've done this before, so hopefully you guys will have a little bit understanding behind it. Um, First thing is quadratic formula. What is it? All right, here it is right here. It's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, I think it's going to talk about that here in a little bit, but this part right here that I just highlighted, that's called the discriminant. Okay, and later on, the discriminant is going to tell us some things that you can already kind of figure out what type of numbers or what type of solutions you're going to have just by what type of number that is. Okay, so look at the first example here. Pretty self-explanatory. Again, the biggest thing we gotta do first, we gotta move that 5 over, put it in the standard form. Okay, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, and then you put it in the quadratic formula. Okay, a is 1, b is 3, c is negative 5, and you just plug those numbers in exactly how you see it, and you just start simplifying it. Now, biggest thing I want to tell you guys is this. I would probably figure out what that number is, right? This number right here underneath the square root is, and then go from there. If these two numbers can't divide, then just keep it rolling. So let's go ahead and look at a monitoring progress. I'll go ahead and do this first one for you guys. So if you want to pause it right quick and do it yourself, you're more than welcome to. So let's get going. Okay, so I know my a is equal to, okay, my a is going to be equal to 1. There's not a number there. Okay, my b is going to be equal to negative 6. And then my c is going to be equal to 4. Okay, so again, it's negative b. So plus or minus the square root of, okay, b squared minus 4 times a times the c. Okay, so again, I'm going to draw my bar all the way over, and this is all over 2 times a, which in this case is 1. Okay, so if I go from here and I start working it, like I said, I would probably do it in pieces. If you look at your pieces here, the first one, negative 6 squared, that's going to be 36. And then you're going to have 4 times 1 times 4, which is 16. So the first thing you should get right here is you get a 20. Okay. Again, you still got your plus and minus. Okay. Negative with the negative 6 is going to make a positive 6. And this is all over 2. Okay. Now, 20 can break down, so I think they are going to break these down. Remember, whenever you break this down, you're just trying to find two numbers that go into 20, that one of them is a perfect square. So, for example, if I take 20 and break it down, that'd be 4 times 5. Okay. So now when I look at this, what's the square root of 4? You're going to say 2. Okay. So you would have, let me move it over. I'm going to erase that 20 now. I just broke it down. I erase that because what really happens now is square root of 4 is going to be 2. Oops. Square root of 4 is going to be 2, but you can't take a square root of 5, so I'm going to leave my square root of 5 there. And then from here, I'm just going to simplify it. So 6 divided by 2 is a 3. I'm going to go ahead and do the plus one first. And then 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that can cancel out. And then your other one is the exact same thing. 6 divided by 2 is 3. This time it's going to be the minus 1. Square root of 5. Okay, it's very similar how you do those. Again, if you want to check these, you can graph them. All right, I don't. You're gonna have to write it like the answers I have, but you could check it to make sure that the answers are very similar. Okay, it kind of shows you that you can check them. Let me erase that stuff. So, okay, you go through here again, you can have another one. All right, here's another example. This time, whenever you do all your work right here, you're going to get a 0. That's only going to give you a 1 solution. Okay. The next one here is going to give you an imaginary solutions. Okay. Whenever you do the work here, if you ever get a negative here, okay, where it shows it right here, what you're going to do is you're going to write 36. Okay. But you're going to put a imaginary I. Always make it look like a J. That's just the way. Oops, I did it the wrong way. Actually, always put that little sloop on it. Okay, just so I know it's an I. All right, and then from there you just say, hey, well, what's the square root of 36 now? And it's 6. Okay, so it's 6I. Okay, I that's just kind of how you do it. All right, so you do the same steps. You just have that imaginary I hanging along with it. Okay. Oops. Just remember, anytime you get a negative right there, that's what you got to do. Okay. So let's do one right quick. All right. So if you look at these, again, we'll just do the first one here. First thing you got to do here, since you got a negative 8x over here, we're going to want to add that to the other side. Okay. Add that to the other side. Again, remember, it's got to go in the middle here because that's the b. So it's ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is how the format you'd want it. So let me go ahead and simplify this to be x squared plus 8x plus 41. Okay. Now that's equal to 0, and that's what you want. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. A is going to be equal to 1. B is going to be equal to 8. C is going to be equal to 41. Okay. So again, you're going to do the same exact steps, negative b. So this time it's going to be negative 8 plus or minus square root of 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times, this time it's going to be a big number, times 41. Okay. All over 2x. So we're going to divide this again by 2 times 1. Okay, so again, what I suggest to do here is find out what this number is first. So you would do your 8 squared, okay, and then you would minus it times 4 times 41, okay. So you're basically going to do 64 minus 164. So this is actually going to be equal to now negative 8 plus or minus the square root of negative 100 all over 2. Well, again, kind of like we talked about a while ago, I know this right here is actually going to be equal to the square root of 100. You can put the I in either spot. So I always like to put it in the back, to be honest. 100i. And the I is not underneath the square root. So all we need to do is figure out what's the square root of 100. Well, hopefully you know the square root of 100 is equal to 10. So now we have this. Just 10. No square root here. And then it would just be an I in the back. This will all be divided by 2. So now to get our solutions, we would just divide these. So negative 8 divided by 2 is going to give me negative 4. I'm going to go ahead and do the plus equation first. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And you'd have your I. So to be honest, you only have to really do the other solution. You really just switch the sign in the middle. So it'll be negative 4 minus 5i. Okay, so that's how you do the imaginary ones. All right. Now, let's look at one more solution or one more problem, and then I'll try to walk you through a couple of problems right quick. Make sure we are good on those. So let's go ahead and look down here at the discriminant. Again, the discriminant is just a piece underneath the square root. It's no square root attached, just a number. Okay, and then that number describes what's happening. Okay, if it's greater than 0, you got 2 real solutions. Okay, if it's equal to 0, you got 1 real solution. Not the equation, just the discriminant. Okay, a lot of people get that confused. They'll say, oh, the equation is equal to 0, there's 1 real solution. No, it's not the equation, it's just the discriminant. Okay, if the discriminant is a negative number, okay, you're gonna have 2 imaginary solutions. That's the 3 type of answers you can have right here. So again, it kind of goes through here and it walks through these problems. It shows you, okay, your discriminant, oh, the first one's equal to -4. I know it's 2 imaginary solutions. Oh, this one's equal to 0, 1 real solution. Hey, this one's equal to a +4, 2 real solutions. Okay. So again, I'll do one right quick with the discriminant because all you need is just b squared. So I know it's going to be 8 squared minus 4. Now again, that the a this time is a 4. A lot of times it's 1, but this time it's a 4. And then my c is also a 4. Okay. So if you do your math real quick, it'd be 8 squared, which is 64, and then whatever 4 times 4 times 4 is, which is also 64. So this one actually does equal 0. So my discriminant is equal to 0. So what that tells me is there's only 1 real solution. Okay. Oh, back up. Okay, 1 real solution. Okay, I almost misspelled it. It's hard to write. Okay. And again, that's kind of how you do those. So make sure you guys kind of got an idea of that. All right. Okay, that's pretty much all the type of problems I gave you. I didn't give you really any questions or nothing like that. So just kind of make sure you go through there and make sure you guys know what's going on. Now, if you look at the questions now, here's some problems that I gave you guys. Okay, it says quick sentence. This is just vocab. It says, it actually wants you to type it out, but it says when A and B and C are real numbers such that A is equal to -0, the solutions of the quadratic equations are x equals. So this is where you got to type in the formula. So this is just going to be, go ahead and put a fraction bar. This is where it's going to be -b. Okay, there's the plus minus. All right, there's your square root, and it's just b squared minus 4 times a times c all over. Okay, all over 2a. Okay, very simple. All right. Again, these are just vocab right here. So if you gotta go back to the notes, look for your vocab. All right. So they want to use the quadratic formula right here. Again, I'll help you guys do one. So you guys can go ahead and just, again, see another problem done. So again, if I look at this one right here, I know my a is equal to 1. My b is equal to -4. And then my c is equal to 3. Okay, so if I put that in there, negative of a negative b, okay, plus or minus the square root of, b squared here. So again, that'd be -4 squared minus 4 times 1, and then this time our c is 3. Okay, and that's all over 2a. Okay, so again, if I simplify real quick, that first number is just going to be a +4. You're going to have a plus or minus. And then this right here would be 16 minus 12, which gives me 4. And then all over 2. That was supposed to be a 1 right there, by the way. That right there is supposed to be a 1. Okay. So again, what's the square root of 4? We know that's 2. So the first thing is going to be 4 plus 2 divided by 2. So that would be 6 over 2, which would give me 3. And then the second one is going to be 4 minus 2 over 2. So that's going to give us 1. So my two solutions here would be 3 and 1. All right, and that's how you do those. So again, just make sure you take your time on those and kind of go through there and make sure you're doing all the steps and to kind of follow this, and it shouldn't be too bad. Again, remember, if you guys got any questions, just email me. I'll be more than happy to help you guys. So let's go down to number 19. Let's do a discriminant problem right quick. If I do the discriminant right here, okay, it'd be, again, it's b squared, so it'd be 12 squared minus 4, and then a right here is 1, and then my c right here is 36. Okay, let's see what this number equals. So I know 12 squared is 144. Okay, 4 times 36 is also 144. So this would be, again, 0. And we talked about that a while ago. So you say the discriminant is 0. The equation right here, oops, has 1, and then you put a real solution. Pretty simple equation here. Again, you're going to go through there and do all of them like that. Okay, not too bad. All right, let's drop down. Okay, it says what are the complex solutions? So again, you're just going to find the discriminant, or find the use the quadratic equation right here and work through those. Okay, then you're going to match a graph to this. All right, just pay attention right here and kind of go through there and try to make this work. Since this is imaginary, it's not going to touch. So I'm going to go ahead and help you guys out on your graph on this one. Oops, it's going to be this graph right here. All right. Okay, on example 33, it says describe and correct the error. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. I'll circle it, but I'm not going to tell you the answer. Oops. The error is right here. Oops, the error is right here. Okay, from that step to that step is where they make a mistake. All right. So right here, solve the system of linear equations by graphing. So again, you need you a graph here. I think it'll let you graph it. Ooh. Okay, I know I should give you guys a graph on your homework. Anyways, I don't think my graphs things pop up. So right here, you got to get this equation set right first. So for example, I'd have to add the x over, so it'd be 2y equals x plus 6, and then I'd have to divide by 2. So when I divide these by 2, okay, that gives me a slope of 1/2, and then plus, oops, x plus 3. Okay, so when I graph that, I know I'm going to go up to 3. I know I'm going to have a point right there, and then it's just going to go up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Okay, I don't know if I can draw a straight line here. I'll have to see. Ah. Pretty close. That's kind of, there we go. Now I got it pretty dang close. Okay, so that's my first line, and if I do the same thing for the second one, all right, again, I'd have to subtract the x here, so now it's going to be 4y equals negative x plus 24. Again, I'm going to divide by 4 here. So divide these by 4. Okay, so my first one is going to be negative 1/4 x. So again, there's my slope. And then plus 24 4 divided by 4, which is going to give me a plus 6. So I know my y-intercept is right here at 6. Now I'm going to go down 1 over 4. So it'll be down 1. Oh, just found my solution right there. Okay. Again, you just draw your line here somehow. Okay, but I did find my solution. So my solution right here is right there. Okay, so whatever that is, looks like that's going to be 4, 5. So again, you just go over here and you click. You just click 4, 5. All right, doing the same thing on all these right here. I think on Desmos, if you have your Desmos things, you might not even have to switch out the equations. I'm not 100% sure on that. You might be able to just type it straight in, but if you can't, then go ahead and do that. Now, on these this will be one of the last ones I do right here for you guys. If you look at these right here, they just want to know what the graph is. So again, you're just going to graph it. Should be pretty easy. And again, this number right here is going to help you out. It'll tell you where your y-intercept's at. So I know these two aren't it. I don't have my, my calculator right now on me. So let me check right quick though. So if I go over 1, so it'll be 3, positive 2. If I put in a 2 here, it'll be, yeah. So I believe this right here is going to be a graph. Again, you guys will have the calculator, so you should be able to get it pretty easy. Now, if you look right here, it says, what is the vertex? Okay, so again, your vertex is your high point or your low point. So my vertex is right here. Okay, whatever that value is. So in this case, it's 1, 2. Oops, I don't know what happened here. So my vertex would be 1, 2. And then it says, hey, what's the axis of symmetry? Well, think about where the axis of symmetry runs. It runs right down that line. So that's our x value right here. Think about that. Okay, that's our x value. So again, what's our x value here? Well, it's 1. So you just put a 1 in. That's how you do those type of problems. Okay, so it shouldn't be pretty hard on those last few problems. It should be pretty quick on that once you figure out what your graph is. All right. So again, if you guys got any questions, email me. Hope you guys are everything's going good for you guys. Okay. If y'all need anything, again, just holler at me. Okay.